Let's do some good news, shall we? Eunice roared in a couple of hours later than expected to Cornwall and Devon, and crucially therefore a bit later than the high point of the spring tide along this battered coast. So the feared flooding caused by high tide, the Green Party is calling for a new storm resilience strategy as the more intense depressions caused by global warming materialise here, materialise everywhere, come to that. This was the Environment Secretary George Eustace's response. Trees down across roads over a huge swathe of southern England and Wales. This was just outside Ilfracombe in North Devon. Over in Bude, Eunice left her mark even as people filmed.
Oh my God, I caught that on video!
A familiar Somerset skyline brutally realigned in seconds.
It fell off.
Mercifully no shout today for the Sennan lifeboat crew in North Cornwall, where their boathouse getting into her car to go to work as a tree fell.
And suddenly it came towards me and I thought it was going to kill me. But instead it crashed and just hit the gate. And I thought, oh my God, my car is underneath it. So there we are.
So the clear-up phase is well underway now in Devon, Cornwall and Somerset. But the wider debate about the state of our resilience to storms is only just gathering pace.
Battened down the hatches, but still got a battering. As the sun came up over Porthcawl, so did the wind, hurling waves at the seafront. It's early. The fear had been that the high winds would coincide with high tide, causing flooding. That didn't happen. Instead, as the storm peaked, the danger came purely from the wind. By mid-morning, the wind speeds forced the closure of the second Severn crossing on the M4, the first time ever that this and the M48 Severn Bridge have both been shut. Further down the M4 near Bridgend, a lorry driver takes the bend and is taken by the wind. Not long after that, a second driver has the same terrifying experience. Both drivers were taken to hospital, but the police said no serious injuries were reported. Stretches of the M4 remained closed throughout the afternoon. The wind worked its way up normally quiet streets with ferocious and frightening force. This is what it did to 3 houses in Newport. Roofs broken, windows smashed.
We was just sat in the room, that was all. It was just a loud crash. We looked out and my wife said it's blown all the roof apart, and that was it really.
What did you think when you saw it?
Well, all I was worried about was whether anybody was injured or not.
Roofs were flying off on the west coast of Wales too. This was Pembrokeshire.
There's a roof just gone. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh. It's gone. This is unbelievable. I got to get from here.
As predicted, many trees were felled by the wind, blocking roads and bringing down cables. 37,000 homes in the southern half of Wales.
And then the wind started, quite literally blowing Londoners away. These men in Croydon were bowled over by gale-force blasts. And a few miles south in Biggin Hill, passengers on the 320 bus will have been covered in glass as a tree smashed through its windscreen. In Hove, the sea crashed up the beach and into this cafe. Chairs that couldn't be brought in fast enough went flying. Anticipating the up to 80-mile-per-hour gusts that swept across London and the southeast today, the Met issued a red. This afternoon, more than 100,000 properties across the southeast were left without power. Infrastructure creaking all over, pulling bits of buildings apart.
Jesus.
Though Tottenham's new stadium weathered the storm, watch its roof here pulsating in the wind, a design feature to avoid storm damage. These pilots too put to the test, blown left and right as they descended into Heathrow. A delicate dance. Some had to change tack last minute and soar back up for another go. A spectacle plane watchers just couldn't miss.
Oh no, we didn't like that.
This live stream had the nation transfixed, hundreds of thousands tuning in to follow each twist and turn. City Airport cancelled all flights, but had its passengers taken off, they might have noticed the roof of the O2 Arena ripped to shreds by the unforgiving wind.